Yo, what's up? So I caught NBA Today on ESPN earlier, and Malika Andrews and the panel had this really interesting segment about the Los Angeles Lakers and their rookie Thiero, who has officially been cleared for full participation. He can now do 5-on-5 work, and the Lakers are dropping him down to their affiliate team. So Thiero is going to be on assignment with the G League's South Bay Lakers. The NBA Today crew thinks this is actually a huge step in the right direction to eventually get Thiero on the main roster and maybe even get some quality minutes for LA this season. And listen, before we continue breaking down what this means for the Lakers moving forward, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want to see more content like this, just hit that like button real quick. It takes 1 second, but it tells me you want more of these deep dives into everything Lakers. Those likes genuinely help push this content to more fans in the community. So smash that like button right now. Alright, now let's get back into it. Malika broke down that on paper. Thiero is literally everything this Lakers team desperately needs. He brings elite athleticism, perimeter defense, hustle, energy, and he's a good rebounder. The shooting is definitely a question mark according to the panel's analysis. Thiero was actually a good shooter before his growth spurt when his hands got bigger and he had to completely readjust his shooting mechanics. But whether he actually gets meaningful quality minutes this season is the big question. He's just a rookie, and the Lakers are trying to win a championship this year. They've got a lot of veteran guys like Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt who are already ahead of him in the rotation. But the projection of Thiero and what he could potentially become is really intriguing. Rob Pelinka himself said Thiero could develop into an OG Anunoby type of player, which is massive praise. When you think about the potential future of the Lakers, particularly with Anthony Davis as the centerpiece, and with Austin Reeves playing out of his mind right now, the guy is hitting game winners, putting up 30-point games consistently. He's just otherworldly right now, according to the NBA Today breakdown. But if you're going to have AD and Austin Reeves as your primary offensive engines, you absolutely need athleticism around them. You need perimeter defense. You need shooting. You need complementary pieces that can offset and mask some of the weaknesses those stars have. AD and Austin Reeves have actually been much better defensively this season, according to Malika's assessment. Obviously, Davis only played a couple games before his injury, but Austin Reeves has been legitimately better and getting after it way more on the defensive end. AD looked more active defensively and engaged before the injury hit. So, if those two can just be serviceable defenders, not looking for them to be elite or even necessarily great, just serviceable where they don't get torched every single possession, that would be huge. And then you have DeAndre Ayton, who has been genuinely great for the Lakers this year. The panel emphasized Ayton is basically a walking double-double. He had 2 straight games against the Timberwolves where he outplayed Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert combined, which is incredible production. Ayton's been great, and he's doing it without AD, who was supposed to be the real ceiling raiser for him. The analysts are seeing Ayton and Austin Reeves' relationship and chemistry starting to build and grow more with each game, which is really encouraging. When you look at this Lakers team, it's clear that AD, Austin Reeves, and DeAndre Ayton are going to be the 3 main guys going forward. The panel will see what happens with Rui Hachimura if he continues to progress. He looked great in the last game. Malika thought Hachimura has been fine overall this season. People look at Rui and say, oh, if you're not scoring 20, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. But the guy's been rebounding well and playing solid defense. Go look at his defense against Jimmy Butler or his defense against Anthony Edwards. Hachimura has been getting after it defensively, rebounding the ball well, making plays, and impacting the game in other ways beyond just scoring. Hopefully now his offense starts to come through more to give that all-around effort. But let's just focus on AD, Austin Reeves, and DeAndre Ayton as the core, according to the NBA Today crew. Ideally, you want 2 athletic, versatile defensive pieces surrounding those 3. In a perfect world, Jared Vanderbilt magically becomes a 35-36% three-point shooter And somebody like Thiero ends up evolving into another jarred Vanderbilt, but maybe shooting 37–38% from three. If you have that combination, you're probably winning multiple championships at that point because of what AD and Austin Reeves can do with their shot creation and ability to score. Ayton giving you that interior presence and elite athleticism on the inside. He's been great defensively, defending out on the perimeter, defending in pick-and-roll situations, being a rim protector and shot blocker. Start putting all those pieces together, and suddenly you look up and realize this team could be genuinely special. Maybe it's an Arthur Kaluma who fills that role, or maybe it's a guy the Lakers end up drafting or signing or trading for at some point. But Thiero is a player who projects to be everything this Lakers team needs, and then some according to Malika's breakdown. We're talking about a guy who's 6'7" to 6'8", with a 7'1" wingspan and a 41-inch vertical leap. He's an excellent slasher and cutter, a guy who can finish with both hands around the rim and finish through contact. One of the big talking points when Thiero was drafted was that he's basically a better finishing version of Jarred Vanderbilt. He was projected and evaluated as one of, if not the best defensive player coming out of college. If you're looking for defense, Thiero is the guy to bring in. If you're looking for athleticism, he's the guy to bring in. He was one of the most athletic and best defensive players in the entire draft class, and the Lakers were able to trade up and get him. A lot of why he fell in the draft was due to injury concern, but luckily the Lakers aren't in a position where they need a rookie to come in immediately and be a superstar contributor. Obviously, if Thiero can have an immediate impact, that would be fantastic, even if it's just defensively. Even if it's just him out there being able to defend at a high level and guard positions 1 through 4. That would be huge for the rotation. But even if the Lakers spend this year developing him while he plays spot minutes or garbage time, that's perfectly fine, according to the panel. Even when LA drafted him, Malika wasn't necessarily expecting Thiero to be the answer for the Lakers this season. The Lakers have very clear needs: athleticism out on the perimeter defense, ideally some type of two-way player, whether it's an Andrew Wiggins type or some other piece. The Lakers at some point are going to need to address those needs this season through trades or other moves. In a perfect world, according to the NBA Today breakdown, Thiero spends a few weeks in the G League, gets himself right physically and mentally, shows real promise down there, looks good in South Bay, then moves up to the main roster. Then maybe he's giving you 8 points per game while playing defense at a high level, grabbing 5 to 6 rebounds, making the occasional swing pass and smart play, basically becoming a better shooting Jarred Vanderbilt who hits 37% from 3. At that point, you'd be thinking, hey man, maybe this is the guy we should start, next to AD, Austin Reeves, LeBron when healthy, and DeAndre Ayton. Malika talked about Jarred Vanderbilt and why she wants to see him as the starter. It's because of how much ground Vanderbilt covers defensively. He's arguably the Lakers' best perimeter defender and best overall defender period, but he covers so much ground and masks so many weaknesses. He also rebounds the basketball at an elite rate and makes the occasional smart offensive play. The offense is just icing on the cake with Vanderbilt. Obviously, everyone wants him to be a 10-point-per-game scorer, but when the guy has 12 rebounds, including 6 offensive boards, that's where his real impact is, and that's what the team desperately needs. With Austin Reeves evolving into more of a jump shooter who can shoot over the top of defenses, and with AD's skill set, the panel thinks Vanderbilt actually fits better now. When you had LeBron and AD as the primary offensive duo, it was really hard to keep Jarred Vanderbilt out there, particularly in playoff time, because teams would just say, all right, leave Vanderbilt in the corner and pack the paint. Yes, AD and LeBron can shoot over the top and be jump shooters, but that's not what they want to do, and it's not their natural game, and it's not what they're best at. But AD is a jump shooter at his core. He's a guy who's comfortable shooting over the top of defenses, even with 5 guys around him. With AD and Austin Reeves plus LeBron when healthy, you want more floor spacing. You want more two-way versatile players. Obviously, you want two-way guys with AD and Reeves because it makes things easier. but it's not as negatively impactful having Jared Vanderbilt out there as it was when LeBron was the primary creator. LeBron has even become a much better jump shooter and catch-and-shoot threat, taking more threes and hitting them at a higher percentage than earlier in his career. So it's not as harmful to the spacing when you have Vanderbilt on the floor now. Adu Thiero in concept, even if he doesn't have the offensive game, and shooting you're ideally looking for immediately. But if he can play defense at the level the Lakers desperately need, and provide that elite athleticism, basically being another Jared Vanderbilt or even a Wish.com version of Vanderbilt, would be valuable according to Malika. Instead of being one of the absolute best perimeter defenders in all of basketball like Vanderbilt, maybe Thiero is just a really good defender. Instead of getting 8 to 12 rebounds per game, maybe he gets 5, but he's creating turnovers, forcing steals, impacting winning plays, and giving you occasional offense. Thiero is a guy who can make an immediate impact, even if it's minor. He can be a difference maker. Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt, yes, you want some level of offense from these guys, but it's really all about the little things and winning plays. The Lakers have more than enough offense with AD, Austin Reeves, LeBron, Ayton, and Rui Hachimura. The offense is not the concern, it's the defensive side of the ball, the athleticism, chasing down loose balls, getting long rebound. What do opposing teams want to do against the Lakers? They want to jack up a bunch of threes, because threes lead to long rebound, and they think they can win foot races against Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. But if you have LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt, Adu Thiero, and these athletic guys out there, suddenly teams have to rethink that strategy. Now you actually have legitimate athleticism deployed, now you can have different defensive looks and dominate the glass. The NBA Today crew thinks it could be game-changing even in small ways. With how tight and close the Western Conference is, even a minor adjustment or one key sequence here and there could be the difference between winning or losing a playoff series. So that was the full NBA Today breakdown of Adu Thiero getting G League reps, and why this rookie could potentially be the missing defensive and athletic piece the Lakers desperately need to complement their offensive stars.